Hello again and welcome, listeners, to Shallow Thoughts and Deep Shit. My name is Jefferson Lambert, and I'll be your host for this atrocity as I journey through the mind of a serial misanthrope. You can listen to this podcast for free at Spotify, Apple iTunes, iHeartMusic, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, CastBox, Radio Public, and Spotify for podcasters. If you like what you hear, please rate the show, subscribe, and follow. You can also follow the show on Instagram, X, Facebook, and YouTube, where you can join for extra content, new episode notifications, and more. And don't forget, you can interact with each episode and post a comment or ask a question if you so desire. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for tuning in. Let's get started, shall we? Hello again and welcome back, listeners, to Shallow Thoughts and Deep Shit. I'm Jefferson Lambert, and this is episode number 30 for Friday, December 15th, 2023. The following is a twisted tale that I wrote on March 19th, 2015. I wrote it at work one day in one sitting from start to finish. It must have been a slow day at work. I never went back and edited a single word. And once it was finished, I just printed it and added it to my box of writing, and it sat there for the past 8.5 years until now. What I wrote is what I got. The writing is weird and senseless, but I assure you I was completely sober when I penned these words. Sometimes a pen can take you on a magical adventure. This is a story about a journey. Tripping through time. Yesterday morning, I took a sip of fizzy lifting cream and began to float high above the earth, through the clouds, up, and away. I was there dancing with the stars and flirting with the planets as they beamed and mingled through the burning galaxy as far as my bloodshot eyes could see. I looked down, saw the ground, and all the human drones weaving in and out of consciousness on their way to bromidic destinations on whimsical chariots as the talons of hierarchy wove metallic tapestries, meadows of orders, and constitutional doctrines. The canopies of treetops waved goodbye as the deepest space consumed and enveloped me. I should have been frightened, but was much too numb with euphoric crapulence as everything fell silent from the deafening roar of the thunderous macabre unfolding throughout the universe. The candescent moon swelled, cracked, and began to drip rivers of blood as it spun wobbly on its crooked axis and skewed itself through orbital mayhem, while spirits and ghouls laughed out loud with deep, laborious breaths lined with malevolence, anger, contempt, and greed. Upside down and backwards, I wept through the sky as a comet's tail flashed by and brushed away my falling tears with a freezing, comatose paw. Below me, the continents shifted and tangled in their sanguinary engagements as lethargic, zombified mutants leapt from the tallest sky towers, down, down, down to their murky tombs, far from reach where no one could ever embrace them. I could have walked away. I should have walked away. But the prismatic rainbows and polished diamonds made my veil thin, and I lost the caress of the safe haven of the beehive I've cocooned myself in. Rolling over, I fell from the sky and plummeted downward, tripped over the atmosphere, then spun awkwardly onto the soft, dark soil, and vomited my soul all over the flowers and insects, and screamed, "Stop the world! I want to get off!" The warm, bitter bile filled my lungs and throat with an acrid flavor I've tasted so many times before. Collecting my identity off the landscape, I saw through magnified lenses and tubular scopes the absurdity before me, and I realized I wanted to go home. Frantic trepidation suddenly surrounded and engulfed the shadow I emitted as my dignity capsized from an unseen undertow and came to the conclusion that my stupefied tenure of existence was painless and surreal, and I needed to go home. I am coming home. I am home.